On January 28, 1692, after the Thursday lecture, Salem Village's men voted to confirm a previously elected committee of men to present a petition for independence at the Salem town meeting. The committee was made up of Nathaniel Putnam, John Putnam Sr., Francis Nurse, Joseph Hutchinson Sr., Joseph Porter, and Thomas Flint. Welcome to Salem Witch Trials Daily. I'm Josh Hutchinson.
Hi, I'm Sarah Jack. Salem was established in 1626. That's 400 years ago. Originally, the town was much larger geographically, incorporating parts of what are now Salem, Marblehead, Wenham, Swampscott, Beverly, Topsfield, Danvers, Middleton, and Peabody.
Demand for land increased as the population grew, which was originally concentrated in the coastal area that is now the city of Salem. The land in the interior, originally known as Salem Farms, was settled beginning in the 1630s.
Salem Farms was comprised of various land grants made by both the town of Salem and the Massachusetts Bay Colony. John Endicott, who was the governor of Massachusetts Bay from 1628 to 1630, and again in the 1650s, held the largest land grants in the farms.
Other large landowners included Emmanuel Downing, brother-in-law of Governor John Winthrop Sr., William Hathorne, father of the future witch judge John Hathorne, and Richard Bellingham, a future governor. These large land grants were largely sold or leased, often to families we think of when we think of Salem Village in 1692.
In 1647, William Hathorne sold his lands in Salem Farms to Richard Hutchinson, John Putnam, and Daniel Ree.
In 1660, Richard Bellingham sold his land to three men, one of whom was Bray Wilkins, an accuser of John Willard during the witch trials.
From 1666 to 1692, John Proctor leased Emmanuel Downing's grant.
In 1678, Francis and Rebecca Nurse signed a contract to rent a portion of the Endicott estate. This is where the Rebecca Nurse homestead is located today.
As the large land grants were divided through sales and leases, a cluster of homes and a tavern were built in the center of Salem Farms region.
Given the distance from this village to the Salem Town Meeting House, in 1666, the farmers petitioned Salem's town meeting for the opportunity to hire a minister of their own. The town rejected this request.
In 1667, the farmers received permission from the general court to skip night watch duty in the town, owing it to the distance involved in traveling into town from their homes.
In 1669, 28 Salem farmers did not pay when a tax was levied for the construction of a new meeting house in the town. They said they would only pay for the town meeting house if the town residents would also contribute to a meeting house for the farms.
In 1670, the farmers submitted a petition to the general court in hopes of winning the right to hire a minister and put up a meeting house.
After 2 long years, Salem Village was organized as a distinct parish within the town of Salem in 1672, when the General Court of Massachusetts ruled in favor of the villagers.
The court's order, dated October 8th, did not permit the village to gather a covenant church or ordain its minister. Over the next 17 years, Salem Village had 3 different full-time ministers, and at least one part-time preacher was brought in to fill a gap in ministers. None of these men were able to administer sacraments. Some villagers continued to make a monthly trip to Salem or another surrounding town to receive communion.
In 1686, the village committee petitioned the town meeting for permission to ordain their minister Deodat Lawson. However, many in the village even opposed Lawson and did not support the measure, which was not approved.
The village finally gained the ability to ordain a minister and gather a church in 1689. On November 19th, Samuel Parris was ordained as the minister of the Salem Village Church. Unfortunately, he was the man in the pulpit when trouble began in January 1692 with his daughter Betty and niece Abigail.
Over the 6+ decades following the witch trials, the villagers would continue to press periodically for independent town status. A particularly intense campaign began in 1733 and did not conclude until the town was incorporated as Danvers in 1757. They shed the Salem Village name. The king did not like the incorporation and so sent it back with a note reading, "The king unwilling." a sentiment now expressed on the Danvers Town Seal. This again tomorrow when we talk about the laws of the Massachusetts Bay Colony and the Book of Liberties.